In a few short months, next-generation consoles will be out. Both Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 are likely to launch in holiday of 2020. Both companies have committed to that window, and we're seeing a trickle of news and information and footage of next-gen titles sort of making their way into the internet. Now, the folks over at Epic Games today decided to release a tech demo of Unreal Engine 5, and this is footage apparently running on the PlayStation 5. So I'd like to go ahead and take a look at the video, react with you guys. Some of you might have already seen this, given that this video has gained a lot of traction. It's got like 2-point-something million views in just a couple hours. Obviously, a lot of people are curious about what next-gen games will look like or have the potential to look like. So let's just go ahead and check it out, and I'll give you my reactions along the way.
Hello, I'm Brian Karras, Technical Director of Graphics here at Epic Games.
Hi, I'm Jerome Plateau, Art Director of the Special Project.
A few years ago, we got together as a team and brainstormed where we thought we could push forward the state-of-the-art in real-time graphics. There were two key areas that stood out. The first, dynamic global illumination. Beautiful bounce lighting instantaneously.
I don't have to be constrained to do a game where the world has to be static, and I'm able to iterate a lot faster.
And we call this new system Lumen. And we're about to show you what it is capable of. But first, there was another area that we thought we could push forward. Truly virtualized geometry. The artist wouldn't have to be concerned over poly counts, draw calls, or memory. You could directly use film quality assets and bring them straight into the engine.
And that's a big deal for artists. I just want to be able to import my ZBrush model, my photogrammetry scan, my CAD data without wasting any time optimizing, creating LODs, or even lowering the quality to make it hit frame rate.
In the end, that's what it's all about. Art that just works. And we call this new technology Nanite. Here is the future of Unreal Engine running live on a PlayStation 5.
How Todd Howard of you. That just works. So,
this has to be the right way.
Whoa, what? I'm assuming this is not a real game, just a tech demo showcase, but yeah, lighting and photogrammetry are two big things that the games industry seems to be pushing as far as technology is concerned.
Before we continue, let's stop a moment and take a look at some of the key features of this demo.
Damn.
Much of what you see was built with Quixel Megascan assets, but instead of using the game versions, we used the cinematic versions, which would typically only be used in film. There are around 1 million triangles each, and thanks to virtual texturing, they all use 8K textures as well.
That's a lot of triangles.
Nanite can render an insane number of triangles very quickly. There are over 1 billion triangles of source geometry in each frame that Nanite crunches down losslessly to around 20 million drawn triangles. What does that many triangles look like? This isn't noise. These are the triangles, each a different color. Most are so small that they look like noise. Nanite achieves detail down to the pixel, which means triangles are often the size of pixels. This amount of geometric detail requires shadows to be pixel accurate as well, and Nanite can do that too. Speaking of lighting, all of the lighting in this demo is completely dynamic, with the power of Lumen that even includes multi-bounce global illumination. No light maps, no baking here. Without GI, all of that beautiful lighting is gone. With Lumen enabled, we can move the light and the bounce changes instantly.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, let's keep going.
Y'all flexing hard today, aren't you? Yeah, the level of realism.
We've made some great additions to our audio system as well. Convolution reverb allows us to measure reverberation characteristics of real spaces, like actual caves that we sampled, and reproduce them in virtual spaces. Sound field rendering allows us to record and play back spatialized audio. All of this adds up to a more immersive experience.
Is this just a reskinned Tomb Raider? I'm totally fine with that, but it's definitely got that Tomb Raider vibe. But that aside...
The Swarm of Bats was created with our Niagara effects system.
Wow.
Particles in Niagara can now talk to one another and understand their environment like never before.
If this level of graphical...
We've also added a ton of new functionality to run fluid simulations like you see in the water below.
Ooh. Yeah, if this level of graphical prowess can actually be achieved by games in next gen, we're in for a treat. And this doesn't look like super fake like some tech demos do.
The demo runs on our chaos physics system. Here we are using it to accurately simulate the rigid bodies of the falling rocks and the cloth of her scarf.
It actually looks tangible. This actually looks like somebody playing a game.
Now that the environment is so complex, we've needed to greatly improve our animation systems to adapt. We've added predictive foot placement and motion warping, which dynamically modifies IK and body position to look more natural. For the character to more realistically interact with the environment, we've added the ability to trigger seamless contextual animation events, like her hand on the door.
Looks promising.
Dynamic GI is amazing, not just for speeding up iteration, but also for its impact on gameplay.
Nice.
Any light
Looks
source can move while
a bit
still
like
having
me.
beautiful bounce lighting. Dynamic illumination means specular as well, which you can see on all the metal surfaces. You can even see the Niagara-powered bugs reacting to the light. Lumen not only reacts to moving light sources, but also changes in geometry.
Wow.
Remember we mentioned high poly assets? This statue was imported directly from ZBrush and is more than 33 million triangles. No baking of normal maps, no authored LODs. And we can do more than a single statue. There are nearly 500 of that exact statue at the same detail level placed in this room, for a total of over 16 billion triangles from statues alone.
Did they mention triangles? I feel like they might not have
Over this
touched on that
entire
point.
demo, there are hundreds of billions of triangles.
Triangles.
So with Nanite, you have limitless geometry, and with Lumen, you have fully dynamic lighting and global illumination, all running on a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, they're saying this is running in real time on PS5, rather than on some, super mega powerful PC. This is apparently the kind of thing PS5 will be able to run. And I'm assuming or Xbox Series X won't be too different as far as the level of graphical prowess it can achieve is concerned.
There's not much time left.
And this doesn't need to be constrained to small rooms. It can stretch all the way to the horizon.
Whew. Damn.
Portal, it's open.
What a view.
Don't fail me now.
Damn, okay.
It's time to see what's next.
As far as the openness of that environment goes, I feel like this is a large part of what, PS5 solid state drive, the SSD, that's been touted so much, allows. instead of having to segment the world in a certain way or build it like a maze so that players only, see specific things at a time, with the solid state drive, developers and Sony have constantly touted this ability to design worlds to be much more open and much more spacious without loading time limitations and the like, without things having to be separate and, create this illusion of an open world, but things actually being separate and things having to be loaded in via, hallways that players have to go through in order to get to the next area, so that things behind you can be rendered out and things in front of you can be rendered in. This seems to be a bit of a demonstration of that from what I understand, maybe, but yeah, crap. Okay. I do want to say that this is the kind of thing that we should be seeing more of. I feel like both Xbox Series X and PS5, both Microsoft and Sony, have been kind of not been doing a great job of hyping next gen and its full potential. Like with Sony, they had that GDC style press conference where Mark Cerny talked a lot about the hardware of PS5, the architecture of it. But that was all information that kind of went over most people's head. A lot of the developers and the tech-savvy people probably got excited about what was presented, but there was no showcase of any kind. It was kind of too technical, almost, too technical of a presentation. And then Microsoft had that Series X sort of Nintendo Direct style stream where they showed off a bunch of trailers, but very little in the way of gameplay, of something that really shows off what is the potential of next gen. Whereas this right here, this feels like a good balance of both, where they do show sort of a potential gameplay, even if it is a tech demo, they show what gameplay could look like, while also talking about the technical elements of the next-gen technology. This both shows and tells the kind of visual fidelity we can look forward to down the line, and hopefully this is what we'll get eventually. Hopefully this isn't overhyping what these consoles can actually achieve. Like I said before, I've seen a lot of tech demos where I looked at it and went, no way games will actually achieve that graphical fidelity. This is clearly just the game engine at its best, but not necessarily what these consoles might be able to accomplish. But the graphics I'm seeing right here look, possible. And it's being touted that it's running on PS5, and I imagine that, especially first-party games, once they really utilize the full power of that hardware, this kind of graphical fidelity won't be really impossible to achieve, or that's the hope, at least. I surmise that maybe around midway through PS5's life cycle, and certainly towards the end, we'll really start to see PS5 flex its full muscles, and same goes for Xbox Series X. I also have to wonder whether this is secretly like a showcase of a PS5 game that's being worked on, or if it really is solely a tech demo. As far as tech demos go, yeah, this is pretty exciting stuff. Though for now it is just a potential, I'll believe it, I'll truly believe it when I see it. I am looking forward to seeing the first, first party PS5 game and seeing just what they achieve with that. Towards the tail end of PS4 already, we're seeing some incredibly wonderful looking games. God of War looked incredible. Last of Us Part 2, say what you want about the story, but the graphics on that look pretty freaking good. And Ghost of Tsushima looks mind-blowing as far as some of the vistas we'll see. If that's what they can achieve with PS4, PS5, which is significantly more powerful, and that SSD apparently opens up new gameplay design doors. What developers will be able to do with that, especially, the first-party studios, I get the sense they're going to be a sight to behold, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. And it's not just me who seems to be impressed by this. You can see the likes to dislikes ratio here is pretty overwhelmingly positive, and people are just kind of discussing prospects for how this kind of technology could be applied for some of their favorite franchises. Right here, somebody's talking about how Red Dead Redemption 2, a game of that level of technical complexity, could perform on current gen. Imagine what's possible with next gen. Here we have somebody highlighting the various aspects of Unreal Engine 5, how they use the cinematic versions of assets, how dynamic lighting is implemented and the way that works and the way it looks so freaking good. No normal maps, objects and assets directly imported from the high quality ZBrush version. with more than 33 million triangles, dozens of the statues in the room that make for 16 billion triangles, and all of these things that I'm sure people who are more tech savvy will more fully comprehend the implications of that. But nobody seems to be unimpressed by this. Here we are, folks. Next gen is almost here, and next gen is looking damn fine, isn't it? So with that, I would like to end my reaction to Unreal Engine 5 running live on PS5, this real-time tech demo. Let me know what your take is on what you saw, and if you can provide insight in regards to some of the more technical elements to what next gen will bring, drop a comment below. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.